Welcome back to These Are the Days podcast. We have a 1-year-old baby.
We sure do.
It's crazy. And
you weren't ready for it.
I'm
not ready.
It was the fastest year of my life by far. As I've been thinking about it and reflecting, it's like been so weird, the contrast of the year before the first year of her life and then the first year of her life, because the year that I was pregnant and the entire year before the first year of her life was the craziest, hardest year of my life, probably.
Yeah.
Most intense year of our life, hardest year of our marriage and parenting. Like, it was just really hard. Being pregnant that whole time, during the remodel, trying to work, not having a space or an office. And then doing the entire remodel, like designing it as we go. Jeremy physically doing a lot of the remodel, us doing all of the design, homeschooling my first year, living with my parents. Like, it was so crazy. And we just had like no margin for anything. There was no margin to do anything other than just like get through it. We got through it, and it was a very slow year. There were so many sweet things in it, don't get me wrong. But it was very hard.
In hindsight, when you add all the stuff up.
You look back on it, yeah.
But when you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah. Meaning?
Like, when you're in it, you don't necessarily realize
I realized.
It's hard. But what I'm saying is, when you can look back and add up all of the things that it ended up being, man, it seems intense.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, what I'm saying is, like, you have to wake up and do it. Mm-hmm. And so in many ways, you're distracted by a lot of it, which is how a lot of people miss. This is literally one of the entire concepts of this show right now, is these are the days. So what is the quote that we just said the other day that we're putting on the,
how you spend your days is how you spend your life.
Yeah. Like, so if you're not aware of your day, you know what I mean? It's just going to become tomorrow. And next thing you know, your life will just be tomorrow before you know it, because you never present yourself into the moment.
I think that quote too, how you spend your days is how you spend your life. It's Annie Dillard, right?
Yeah, I think, Annie Dillard.
It can be so easy to be like, how I spend my days. Okay, everything I'm doing today. But it's not just that. It's not just what you're doing in a day. It's how your attitude and your like presence in the day. It makes up your presence of life.
It's like what I tell Ember all the time is like, remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. Mm-hmm. She did not understand that for like a few months, but then I think she gets it now of like, oh, I get it. Like, if I don't clean up the dinner table, I'm not going to clean up my room. If I don't clean up either, then I'm just a messy person. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. Mm-hmm. And we like to compartmentalize in our brain and think like, oh, I'll be like polite, in this context, but not at home. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no. That gets sniffed out, that gets found out, that'll come up eventually, because ultimately it's not integrity. Yeah,
totally.
So yeah.
Speaking of Ember, I've been doing this thing with Ember. I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast yet. I don't think I have. But on Wednesdays, we do our Wednesday walks, Yeah. And did I share this on the podcast? Or just with you?
Share it again.
I don't think I did. But we do this thing on Wednesday. So Wednesdays are homeschool days. Ember goes to a homeschool pod 2 days a week. And so on Monday, Wednesday, we do our homeschool, and then we like to go for our little Wednesday walk. And usually Jeremy will have the boys during that time so that I can take her while Mira's napping, or sometimes I'll bring Mira just like in the carrier. Anyways, the kids are really into this thing where they ask Jer and I, can you tell me a crazy story? Tell me something crazy that happened to you. Yeah, that's what they say.
Because they're learning about life.
They ask us this like every night, and before they go to bed or before they take a nap. And it's like, tell me something crazy that happened.
In line at the restaurant, at the dinner table. I mean, everywhere they're asking.
And I don't know why they chose the word crazy instead of just like, tell me a story.
Keep in mind though, what they're pointing at with that adjective is simply something I don't know, because that's crazy. Like, you could say like, I tripped on a curb.
I know, but as adults, I think we overthink that, because every time they ask I'm still like, this isn't crazy. That's not crazy. Like, every time I think about a story to tell them, I'm like,
Audrey, totally.
This isn't crazy, but to them it is. So it's like, literally I could tell them, I stubbed my toe the other day.
I broke my foot moving but you telling the story of us living in LA and moving a mattress, it becomes a long 5-minute, 10-minute story, but it's not the crazy they're after. It's the learning about life and what did you do and how did it happen. And so when they're moving wood for their fort, they're going to go,
Totally.
Oh, don't break your foot because whatever. You know what I mean? It's just interesting how they're trying to pull information out of us.
And they're real stories. Like, instead of just like, tell us a story, it's like something that really happened. So like, Ember especially is like very into it. Can you tell me a crazy story? Anyway, so now,
so
like,
interesting.
she'll ask me all the time, like on the way to dropping her off at homeschool pod this morning, she was like, Mom, can you tell me a crazy story? In those moments, I'm like, no, my brain can't think about that right now. Like, can we just listen to worship music and get to school? Like, I can't get into that. But Wednesdays have been my opportunity to like, okay, I come prepared. I am thinking about the story so that I can tell her, like, I'll tell you the crazy story on Wednesday during our walk. You know what I mean? If I don't have time to tell. So that way I'm not just shutting her down. But like, there's something to look forward to. Anyways, so our Wednesday walk a couple weeks ago, I was like, okay, Amber, I got a crazy story for you. And I told her, like, so when you're walking, it's like really easy to be, it's just really easy to be engaged in a conversation. Like we walked for probably 45 minutes where she just was like riveting, listening, like riveted,
enamored.
Yes. Totally focused and like listening. And then like occasional question, you know, it's just crazy what like going on a walk with your 7-year-old like that can do to have them be engaged while you're talking and telling them something. And so anyways, and it feels a little less formal. Like,
she had mom all to herself.
Like, like it feels a little less formal. Walks are just such a great way for that. Like even going back to the episode from last week about talking to your kids about sex, like walking, it's just like feels a little less like, let's sit down and do this thing or talk about this thing. It's like anytime you want to talk to your kids about something, just like do it in the car or do it on a walk because it's like you're going somewhere. There's just like a less
like a pressure off valve.
Anyways, not that this was that type of a conversation. I explained to her the meaning of always more. And I told her like the entire story. Oh, I'm making you fall asleep. Okay, Bodhi.
It's just we just ate, and I'm like, whoa, my body's like, hey, what do you want to do? Think and talk or process the food? Like, pick. Well, I'm trying to do both.
It's just this is like your third yawn. It was like reminding me of Bodhi and his preschool performance.
I just ate a big omelet, so I'm.
Anyways, I was like, I'm gonna tell Ember the story, like the genesis of Always More. Because she knows what Always More is, because she knows my bracelet.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Because the kids always ask me about my bracelets. Like I've had this railroad stripe bracelet that says Always More on it, and I've worn it every day since I graduated high school. My mom gave it to me as a high school graduation gift. It's a railroad spike. It's really thin. Wow, you're really struggling.
Jeez.
Anyways, are you wearing yours? No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
I've got JR one but had some words engraved on it, and then I have these like bracelets for all the kids, but. This one, she knows about this bracelet. She knows about like our Always More shop. She has her own like Sherpa that she wears and stuff. So she knows about it, but she doesn't know what it means or where it came from really. So I was like, Ember, let me just back it all the way up to the beginning. So you know how mom was a runner, and I like told her about running. And then I told her about like how I didn't just run in high school. Like I was pretty good. And then I ran in college, and then I was like the captain of my team. And this
What's
Always
college?
More was exactly. Totally. So it's like you're trying to tell the story and then you like explain what college is. You explain what roommates are. I explained like what my house was like in college. And I'm like telling her this whole story. And like how I write Always More on my arm before all of my races. And then I tell her about my shoes, you know, my spray painted shoes. And then, I gotta get to this point. So then I used to keep, she loved this part because she's such a keepsaker. She wants to keep anything that we throw away to use it as a craft. Jeez. And so I told her, Ember, you know how you like to keep things? And I was like, Ember, when you run a lot of miles like that, you have to buy new running shoes because they wear down. And so every time I got an old pair of running shoes, like every like 6 months I had to get a new pair of running shoes. So I had all these old running shoes and I felt weird throwing them away. So I was like, what could I do with them? And I was like, so I decided I was going to spray paint them all red, and I wrote Always More on the bottom of them, and I threw them in these places that were like significant to my life, like my best friend's house, or the tree beneath the chairlift where I ski raced, or my parents' cabin in Central Oregon, or my neighborhood, or outside my high school. Like I threw them all over the place, and kind of illegal. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's littering.
Yeah. And sometimes I threw them at like the Young Life camps that I work at. And I sometimes would like, don't rush me. I sometimes would like put these notes in them and stuff them in the bottom of the shoes. And I'd like write why the place was like meaningful to it. And so I'm explaining all this to her. And then she's like, did you do that with your and daddy's shoes? Yeah. Like, cause she knows about our shoes. Where are our shoes? Up there. You should get them for visual reference. So because when Jeremy and I were dating, Jeremy knew that I did this, and was it your idea? It was your idea. That's why it was like so novel.
You guys can't see this because this is out of frame when you're watching YouTube, but this is the old motor.
This is out of frame?
This stuff is, yeah. It's on top of the thing. This is our old motorcycle helmet.
Oh my gosh.
That we would cruise around LA with. This was mine. Yours I sold actually, but this one matched the bike, which is why I kept it, but I sold the Fox. You know that, right?
The little glasses. You should give these to Bodie.
And then this is... These are the shoes
in our shadow box.
In a shadow box that was hanging.
One old gnarly running shoe and one Sperry because Jared thought he was a Southern boy.
I would wear these Sperry's all the time. Yeah.
But why did we do that? It was your idea, and that's why it was so weird.
I said, no matter what happens with this summer,
this would be a cool story.
This summer of love, we could always come back here and you could look at these like, wow, I remember that boy, or I will remember that girl that got away, type of thing of like. Wow, it's a shame that didn't work out. Or I said we might come back here with our kids one day. I think I actually said that.
You probably did.
Yeah, and it'd be a cool landmark. And so we threw these shoes over the trestle that we now look out of our house window at.
Yeah, we threw them. Okay, but hold on, babe. I can't remember. My brain gets a little fuzzy with this. There was, on our first date, you asked me to do this. On our first date, when we went to Rock Creek Tavern. No, do you remember? Right. And we threw them and they got taken down or something. We were in the beam and we were at that intersection corner of
yes,
by the cute house with the daffodils in front.
Yes. Yes.
On the way to Savi's, like, you know, the
Laidlaw and Germantown.
Yeah, we threw them on that wire.
We threw them on that wire.
And they made it up there.
And they made it up there.
You threw them first try, you made it up there.
First try. And then they weren't there like a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And we were bumming.
And then this happened like 3 years later or 2 years later. We were dating when this happened.
Summer, I think. We redid it pretty quickly. And we said, we got to try again. That didn't count. We're like, let's get another pair up there. Somewhere where no one will take them down.
And so that's why we did the trestle.
So then we did the trestle.
But the trestle, you like climbed halfway up.
I climbed halfway up the 90-foot trestle. And
anyways, they hung underneath this wire under the train bridge for 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
10 years exactly.
These exact shoes hung for 10 years.
And they fell, and somehow Jeremy found them.
We noticed they weren't there one day.
On your 30th birthday. It was your 30th birthday. There's like some weird things with it.
This story is getting crazier.
Remember it was COVID, your 30th birthday, and you were like down there walking. You're like,
It was my 30th birthday. We noticed they weren't there. We were at your parents'.
Yeah, doing your birthday.
And I was like, I'm going to go down there and just like, I don't know, just go down there and see. Yeah. And I found them in the bushes. But I noticed they weren't there because every time we drove under the trestle going to your parents', we would look up and see.
I thought you had to climb up and get them. I thought they were like hanging from another beam or something because you videoed yourself up there. They were. You filmed yourself. There they are.
You're right.
You had to climb up.
It's like the wind like somehow like unraveled them, which is really insane. So yeah, I went up, I got them, and instead of rethrowing them, I just brought them
Some people
back.
are thinking we're so dumb right now. Like, why are you talking about
Hey, it's just we're in college and.
But anyway, so we showed our kids then. Ember remembers that. That was like a significant moment because we were so shocked. My parents were so shocked because we've been driving under the trestle to go to my parents. We didn't live out here yet.
I mean,
we didn't have this house.
These are literally, I mean, this shoe.
Did we write on
this leather shoe was hanging in the sun up there for 10.
Did we write?
Yeah, I'm sure we did. Anything? Or no, we might not have on this. But.
No, we did. We did write. We wrote the date on it, but it's probably not there.
Wow, this is just amazing.
You can't see any Sharpie marks?
No, I can't.
My janky Mizuno running shoes. Do they even make Mizuno
running shoes
anymore?
wild.
I don't even know. Anyways, so Ember was like locked in when it got to that point of the story because she was like, those are the she remembered when you found them because she was like 4. Somehow she remembers that.
Yeah.
And we've referenced it a few times since then.
Yeah.
Obviously, then a couple years later, 3 years later, we bought the property with the trestle in the back. So this all happened like before we live out here by the train bridge, right? This is like, anyway, so I'm telling her the story. I'm telling her about the shoes, and then I'm like, so then later, like, mommy and daddy, we decided to do a clothing line, and that's what that's where your shirt by that you're wearing. That's what that is. And that's why, because that message became something that wasn't just like motivational for me. It was for other people too. And like people have it tattooed on their bodies. And she was like, thought it was the coolest thing ever. So then the next week I was like, you lay all this groundwork because you have this 45-minute conversation. She knows that like running was a huge part of my life. She knows I was good at running. She knows I ran in college. She knows what college is. She knows what kind of house I lived in. She knows who my roommates were. She knows what my life mantra was. She knows what my life verse was at that time.
Crazy.
She knows a story about you and me. She knows a story about our first date. Like she just learned so much in 45 minutes, right? So then the next week, I'm like, okay, I'm like a crazy story time. So you know my house in college, yeah. You know how I had the 7 roommates. You know how Lauren, who lives up the street, you know our neighbor. You know how we were teammates and now we're neighbors now. Yeah. We were neighbors in college, now we're neighbors now. I'm like, yeah. So when we were in college, we had these chickens. We had chickens, just like our chickens. We had these 4 chickens, and I'm like telling her this whole story about the chickens, and I tell her the whole story about the rats.
Oh yeah.
And because I was like, this is gonna be a crazy story for her. I'm like telling her about our creepy basement and how we found the rat poop in the basement. And then how we started to hear the rats scurrying around on the walls. And she's like creeping out. But like there's all this groundwork because she knows about my neighbors and all this stuff. And then or like my roommates. And then I tell her about how we saw the one rat like scurry across the floor.
Yeah.
And anyways, it's just so I don't know where I was going with that. But the point of the story is these Wednesday walks are so sweet because it's just this chance to like, she's really getting to know me and I'm really getting to like tell her stories. Yeah. And there's just something about it that just feels like such a right thing to do. And I remember like before I started doing it, I remember telling Joe like, I need some sort of like
consistent thing
with Ember and beyond school.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just been like so good for that. Like it's just been so good to have like just that one-on-one time with her. Sometimes Mare's there, but that I can rely on.
Totally.
And then that like has kind of led into the conversations that we've been having about like the one-on-one time with the kids thing, like with Bodhi, and how like I had the thought in the shower about you bringing him.
Figure that out. Yeah. By the way, I've been thinking about that, and I think I should maybe do that.
We've just been talking a lot about like bringing our kids on these like the older two, starting to bring them on like the little trips that we have to take for either work or life or family or whatever, that we're like, our whole family can't go because it's too expensive or it's too much or it logistically doesn't work. But like Jared wants to go visit his 92-year-old grandpa in Michigan. But like our whole family probably couldn't go. But we've talked about just him going, but it's like, why wouldn't he just take a kid and have one time?
We're like entering that new season where that makes more sense to do. We have to change our thinking about some things, which is exciting. So.
Yeah. You love changing your thinking about things.
I love changing my thinking about things.
What else is going on? How was Mare's party?
I mean,
how drained are you from Mare's party?
How drained are you, babe? You did awesome.
I don't get as
you
drained
went
as
all
you
out because this is likely the last baby.
Maybe.
So you went all out. You did awesome. Audrey handmade the smash cake. You just got so much like detail oriented stuff, and we decided to make it a big party. We invited a ton of people. Right? We know it's a 1-year birthday, but like come and have it be like a welcome to, intro to summer party type thing.
Her birthday's Memorial Day weekend, so it's like already just kind of this natural, like everyone's kind of around and hanging out and looking for something to do.
Yeah.
And the weather is usually nice, which it wasn't like
I thought it was great. I thought it was a great party. People loved it. And our property is coming together too. So we have, the coop now is like this anchor point where when you are down in the yard or on the deck and you look out, there's now like something to look at or something to go do, or like go look at the chickens and the garden's there, cool, and it's like this gravity pull.
Yeah, it really has transformed a lot.
I'm telling you, this is why I built it the way I've built it, is because I knew that it would be a focal point, gravitational pull, centering object on the property, and especially locationally. It's just, there's something about it where I was like, this has to be so cool. You cannot help but go admire it. So I built it to try to impress myself.
That's what you do.
Which is hard to do.
No, and that's what you do.
That's what I do.
You build things to try to impress
My
yourself.
My point though is the property's coming along. Like I got that
critical, you never impress yourself.
Yeah, I got that lower area now built, and so it's fun having people over and feeling like, oh, okay, wow, this is better than last year, and then next year will be better than this year, and
Jared and I were also talking to like, it's just there's like 25 kids or something, and we're like, it's just crazy right now with the kids all being so little. Like it's like 65 degrees out. We have the bounce house blown up, and they're like all going out, running around screaming. They're all outside in their swimsuits wet. And then they get up on the deck and they huddle up on our hot water hose and like they're trying to warm up in the kiddie pool together. And it's cute because they're all little enough to still be like close. They're all around us. They're all doing things that are like where we can see them and observe them. But as they get older, we just had this thought afterwards of like, they're going to go, like all the girls are going to go off and do their own thing where we don't see them.
And the boys are going to go down to the creek or want to do dirt bikes around the dirt bike track.
And we just won't see them. They won't feel as much a part of the party. They'll never feel as much of a party as they do in these years. These are the days.
These are the days. Yeah.
Like these are the days where it's like everyone's like still so together because there's little kids that need to be tended to. There's 15 months old babbling around that we don't want to fall off the deck, you know? And so it just feels like so family oriented. Whereas I feel like the older they get, it's going to be like the parents and the kids, you know?
Yeah.
And these are the years where it's like, there's always a parent down on the trampoline jumping with the kids. There's always a parent following the 2-year-old around so they don't put rocks in their mouth, you know, like.
Totally.
And it's just like a special, sweet season time. Anyways, Jeremy and I, we have a hard time where we have a tendency to go all out with hosting and parties.
Yeah, we like it. It's part of and it's also how we're like integrating our kids into, again, the family culture, family team mindset of like, you know, Bodie and Ember specifically, but even Rad now, like, hey, Roloff's host. It's one of the things we do is we host parties.
Yeah.
If we want them to be great parties and you want, you know, kids to come over and stuff, we need your help because you're on the team here. So what can you do? You know,
I feel like this was the first time they really got that.
They really got that, yeah.
Because we had a family meeting before and after where it was like, okay, guys, we need your help setting up. You know, you guys want to have all your friends over here and have a party?
Yeah, you made a list. Like here, just 3 things. Here's your 3 things you get to do to help this party be awesome for your friends. And they did their 3 things, and then they had an amazing time. And then when we debriefed after, it was like, you know, hey, you guys did awesome. We hosted a party. It wasn't mom and dad's party, right? It was our party. Roloff's host parties.
Yep. Yeah. And it was the same thing too. It gave them a little bit of like.
It was encouraging because it worked. It seemed like it. Yeah.
The train's coming, so it's going to be loud. It gave them a little bit of like responsibility to even with like cleanup. Okay, guys, like was it fun? Yeah, we loved it. Do you want to have a party again? Okay, we have to clean up a little bit together. Yeah. And we're entering in this season where like Jared and I have to remind ourselves of that. Like, don't you feel like it's so easy for us to just do it all? Yeah. But we have to constantly remind ourselves like Bodie and Ember are very capable of doing
Well, it's what you said with cooking the other day. It's like, it is literally, it makes no sense to do, but it makes all the sense when programming is top of mind. Like, how do I program my kid to run a certain operating system, to behave a certain way or be a certain type of human being? You have to do things that just don't make sense, like letting them cook with you.
Yeah. Well,
or like trying to let them clean, you know what I mean?
And I was like, you know how we were talking to about like, I just had this thought after the party, these years, the next 3, maybe really only the next 3 in the past 3, these 6 years span of time is probably the hardest time ever to host in our season of life.
Yeah.
Because like they're not all helpers yet. They all need a lot of help. And there's like, they're making messes constantly and they can't clean up with after those messes constantly. And you have, you know,
diapers,
emotional meltdowns, and you have, you know, nap times that you got to work around. You have all these like things, right? Whereas like years from now, I just know it'll be tremendous. I'll be like, Ember, take all these pictures that I printed from Walgreens and put them on this collage with the giant cutout one. Like you just do this all by yourself. Yeah. That's 30 minutes of my time that just was offloaded.
Well, and it's like,
she could have probably done
crazy
that, but
how
I just
fast
didn't give her like the direction.
It's crazy how fast these seasons just like, next thing you know, you're in the new season. Yeah, exactly. That's why every season has to be looked at with this like, now today is literally the moment for this season because tomorrow it'll be completely different. Like they say, or like I was saying the other day, you never know when's the last time you're going to pick up that toy because it's just
off the ground.
Off the ground. Next thing you know,
read the book.
Next thing you know, they're done playing with Buzz Lightyear and you picked it up for the last time. And did you have a grateful heart for when you were picking it up? Or were you like, I gotta freaking pick up all these toys. The kids make such a mess. 2 stories, 2 paths, 2 realities that you get to live, heaven or hell, essentially. It's amazing. Oh, my point in saying that is,
it's totally.
You're in the next season, and like some of our best friends, they were talking about like them going on vacation. For some reason this year, they were just like, poof, I'm reading books by the pool. Our kids are all playing. I literally don't talk to my kid for 45 minutes. I'm at the side of the pool, like And I'm like thinking, it seems like a forever away because I'm in it.
Yeah.
But when it actually is here, it'll be like, wow, this happened in no time at all. Like we're already done with picking up the toys and all those kids and babies, and
we'll see. It's
crazy. It just moves so quickly. I love the C.S. Lewis, the way he paints the idea of time as just this alien concept for the human brain, this unnatural.
What does he do? What does he paint it as?
If time is something we can never, I'm paraphrasing, but if time is something we cannot as humans feel natural in, then we must deduce therefore that we aren't built for time. It's not a natural phenomenon. It's a mental construct. Therefore, it doesn't exist.
That's like hard for people to wrap their brains around.
I know, but it's true.
It's hard for me to wrap my brain around.
It's crazy.
Speaking of getting kids to help with things and stuff like that, I was sharing earlier this week, or I don't know, last week, when it depends when it's airs, but I shared the kids doing their laundry, like doing the laundry sort.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people were like, so let me just tell you guys in case you didn't say it. So I don't fold the kids' laundry.
Whoa.
And have really never folded our kids' laundry. I'm Ember, like when it was just Ember, I did a little bit, but also like I hung most of her clothes in the closet, so it wasn't really folding that much anyways. It
would be nice if we had the time to do that, but I think one of the reasons we don't is because it doesn't make any sense for us in the way our life operates and the way we co-work and do other things. Like that was one of the easy things to.
I was actually shocked by how many people are like, what? How do you do that? How does that work? How do they put it away? Aren't their clothes all wrinkly? Like all this stuff. And I'm like, yes, their clothes are wrinkly. Like, they're 2 and 3-year-olds. Like, absolutely, they're wrinkly.
If it's a wedding we're going to, we'll steam it.
Of course, yeah. Or like, yes, like Ember hangs up her nice dresses. You know what I mean? I hang up the boys know how to hang their coats, but. Let me just tell you guys the system real quick in case anyone wants to try it out there.
Yeah, lay it on us, babe.
You guys always ask me, like, how do you do all the things? How do you manage all this? Is one thing I don't do. I don't manage it. Like, just let it go. Even our laundry, like, I'm really bad about. Just, like, I do the laundry. I spot treat the things. I sort the colors. I clean it and then put it into the piles. And, like, you can hang it and put it away. The kids are really good at going through the bins and like sorting. They know to look at the tags and they sort into piles. So Radley has a pile, Ember has a pile, Bodhi has a pile, Mirabelle has a pile, I have a pile, Jeremy has a pile, and then there's a pile for like towels and sheets or dishcloths or things like that. So they sort them all. Bodhi has his own dresser. So he has tops, bottoms, sweatshirts. He has tops, pajamas, sweatshirts, pants, and then an underwear and socks drawer. And then he has like a hats and gadget drawer. Radley has the same thing. Radley's are like those like the white 6-cube things from IKEA with those cloth bins, because for toddlers that's just easier than like the actual drawer. So he's had those. Bodhi had those before, and then they got passed down to Radley. They're just those like fabric pull bins. So Radley has one for his undies and one for his pajamas and one for his tops. He knows which ones they are. So he just takes it all and just puts it all in there. Just goes straight in there.
Yep.
And then Ember has a dresser that hers is a little bit more organized. She's getting a little bit more into organizing and doing that herself.
Yeah, and it's not perfect.
But it's like,
it's not like perfect science. Like, yes, we use incentives, you know. Hey, you guys have 5 minutes to put your laundry away, or we're not watching a movie tonight.
Totally.
You know? Like we just don't have time to do it.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, it isn't like, hey, children,
it's not like a daily
on your
thing.
own free will, please put this laundry away. And they're like, yes, father and mother. It's like, no.
But they do that with the dishwasher.
Because
they do the dishwasher.
We've trained them.
They know that's their chore.
Hey, can't eat breakfast until the dishwasher's unloaded.
Yeah.
It's getting cold, you know.
Yeah. So like they have their thing. The laundry's a little bit more nuanced because it's like, when is it coming? I do laundry every day. I'm always running a load of laundry, so it's always accumulating. So when it piles up,
but
then I bring the pile out.
But the dishwasher is because we run it every night. We put the kitchen to bed every night. So
yeah,
you know, every morning they do the dishwasher.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share that because some people were like, you make your kid do that? And then other people were like, how do you do that? And I'm like, just don't overthink it. Just try it. Yes, their clothes are wrinkly. Yeah, if you need to steam a nice outfit, steam a nice outfit. Hang the nice coats and dresses.
Did you do that growing up? Did you have chores at that age? No.
My mom folded all of our laundry.
Oh, yeah,
I don't remember when we were little, though. Like, she folded it when we were older. And because here's the other thing about little kids. Like, I will likely start to teach Ember to fold her own laundry and also start folding their laundry more often as they get older.
Yeah.
And they don't want their clothes to be all wrinkled and stuff like that. But right now, it's just going to get all torn out of their drawers. They're changing their outfits 3 times a day. You know what I mean? Like it's rummaging through it. So you can fold it and spend the time doing that, but it's just all going to get unfolded. So it's like these years are short. There'll be a time where they won't be ripping it all out like that. Did your mom? No.
By the way.
Did you do laundry at your house?
We did. By the way, though.
Did you fold your own laundry?
Our friends, Anna, loved, or I wouldn't say she said that she loved, but by her reaction, she was like shocked at my idea of being able to hide a female's entire closet inside of a system that is akin to a laundromat. You remember?
What?
So we were talking about, we're in the process, finishing the dining room, the kids, the schoolroom, and the entryway. But we're also, and like Audrey and I are doing all of that, but we're also designing the laundry room in our bedroom. And one of the problems with our bedroom is, in order to get just to do the layout, we don't have a lot of closet space, and we don't want to move exterior walls because things just get really expensive really fast. So we're like, how do we do this? And
I miss this. One
of the ideas that popped into my brain, which Audrey hates, but we'll see,
I don't remember.
We'll see what you guys think. I was like, I bet on auction I can get a laundromat ratchet system for a decent price. And because we have a 7-foot crawl space, imagine opening a closet door, but instead of having to go through all your clothes just come to you. All your dresses specifically are all hung up in the laundromat thing, and you just push a button and they just cycle. They just come up from the attic, go up and cycle in front of the door, and you're just going.
Where?
This is exactly what I'm saying.
In our crawl space?
You only need about a 4-foot deep section to get the track to go vertical enough.
It's going to pop up from the floor?
So they're going, yes, they come up from the ground, and then
No, how does that happen?
There's about 6,
we're a smart house?
You see 6 to 10 dresses at a time, and then they go back down into the abyss. But you could have the track be 100 feet long.
You're talking like Monsters Inc. doors?
Monsters Inc. doors for your clothes, baby.
How is it going to come up from the ground? How is this button track going to work?
You're going to invent it? It's way easier than you think it is. You literally plug in an electric motor, you hang your track, and you turn a dial for your speed, and your clothes are cycling. It's more than that.
But but then they're all like smelly and mossy and gross.
You just, because of the way the crawl space is built, you would just drywall a tunnel. Yeah, it's not hard to airtight a tunnel like that. Yeah, it's not that much work. In fact,
you would drywall a tunnel for my dresses.
It would be $200 in drywall and maybe $500 a day's worth.
Talk about overbuilding.
But imagine a feature of a house where you either hate it or you love it. But if it solves the closet situation, would you rather have that or dresses shoved in drawers and you have 2 small closets and it's like,
our closet situation,
you know what I mean?
Horrible.
It could be a wild feature that people like, a Street of Dreams feature. People are like, what in the heck? I didn't think this was, I've never seen this before, you know? And you either use it or you don't. But like, what would it be otherwise?
You're just looking for ways to use our crawl space.
I'm looking for ways to be my Chitty Chitty Bang Bang inventor inspiration.
Oh my gosh, we watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with the kids. They loved it.
Yeah.
Ember loved
I remember being obsessed with him.
I couldn't remember that movie. I only
me
remember
neither. I don't remember at all.
It's a long.
I didn't even realize that.
We watched half of it. Ember's like, it's over and I'm so sad. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang died or like fell off the cliff, but it wasn't over. She was like, and it was like halfway over.
Yeah, wild.
I was like kind of watching because we watched it in like 30-minute increments over the course of a couple of days. It's a long movie.
Yeah.
It's good though. It's cute.
Yeah. So close.
We also recently watched Mary Poppins with them, which they also loved. And the kids are realizing like Ember, I was like, do you guys like the songs and stuff in this movie? I'm like, it's called a musical. These movies are musicals. Like Frozen is a musical. You know, I'm kind of trying to explain to her, like, you notice how they always break out in song when something happens? It's called a musical. Daddy loves musicals.
I don't like musicals.
But you loved Wicked.
That was really good. Surprisingly good.
And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's a musical. There's a lot of musicals, I feel
they're really entertaining. And I feel like I have a new appreciation for...
all the old movies are musicals.
For what it is. Yeah, because that was entertainment. Because entertainment migrated from the theater to movies. Mm-hmm. But it was this... mashup of both for a while. Yeah
like Sound of Music, Annie,
they're
all musicals.
Totally.
There's so many.
Well, I mean, think about it. Music in the theater was entertainment. That's what you would do.
Which is
crazy.
I know, it's so crazy.
Anyways, my closet idea.
That's hilarious. Anna was into it.
Oh, she was blown away at the concept. I don't think she would be into it, you know?
She was blown away that you're bringing that up as an idea of a concept.
So whether she was for it,
who am I working with here?
Whether she was for it or against it, I don't know. I'm not going to put words in her mouth. But the concept, I know, she was like, wow, like, never thought of that, you know?
I'm really realizing this about you. You're like, I've really realized it the past 2 years. Didn't really realize it as much in the first remodel, but I definitely realized it in this past remodel, and then now like building the chicken coop and all the other things on our property. Your obsession with function being like so customized to you.
Oh yeah.
And how like it has to be this way because this is the only way that makes sense. When it's just like it's like so unnecessary. I've realized like how unnecessary. I think for a while I bought into it. I'm like, oh yeah, he totally like you're right, babe. Like yeah, we should.
What do you mean?
We should have a gold handlebar for our trash can in our house so that we can tell people it's the gold handle. The trash is the gold handle, so they're never looking around. But we should totally do that. Or like, I'm trying to think of another example. Like the built-in bench that we're doing, where you want to be able to put your feet back underneath the chair and not have them just like go straight down to the ground. You wanted to like recess back the bench
because when
underneath.
You move your center of gravity, your center of gravity to stand up, it makes sense for me to.
Yeah, but see, you're so customized to like what your body wants to do. You're like,
it's the things.
And I was talking to my friend who has a built-in bench. I'm like, hey, did you recess back here? But she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Jeremy like really needs to like do this. And she's like, that's insane.
No, it's the difference though of customization and not. And it's like when things are so custom where anything that has thought,
but it's like uber creature comforts.
Something. Anything that stores thought energy, in my opinion, tends to have more inherent richness, or what did I say? Old money texture. It's like old money texture feels like only old money can feel like, because it took a craftsman 72 hours to carve that newel post. Mm-hmm. And you feel that energy. It's just like, wow, when you grab a wooden handle and it's tilted a little bit and indented where the palm sits, and you go to stand up on your chair and you look back like, that was the most comfortable hand position I've ever been in. You go, oh, because someone thought about it.
Not a lot of people notice those things
like
you. You notice those things about nature, and you notice those things about physically built, man-made things. Like few people are that way, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm noticing that more and more about you as like you are so aware of those things. Like, and then like you get in your brain that like it cannot be any other way, or
it can't be subpar. Any other way.
And that's
subpar.
Like how 90% of the other things in the world are built or made.
It's a problem because then I feel like I'm always settling in some way. But this is a mental construct I might need to change my thinking on.
By the way, what is this hat? Where does this hat come from?
Oh, I don't know. Some guy sent it to me on Instagram.
What guy? Who?
I don't know. He started. I think it's called Dad Day. And
he
it's just a hat with a note. And I was just DMing him the other day. I was like, hey, what's the philosophy behind your page? And he just responded. I haven't read it yet, but
you're already repping the hat.
Yeah, I liked it. It fit good. It was a good fit.
It looks like
and hey, I'm a dad.
It looks like one of those auto shop hats.
Well, it's nice how it does. Yeah, exactly. It's got an old school brand. It fit well. and it's simple. It didn't have like this big brand on it and stuff. It's like, oh no, it's a hat that says dad. And I liked it.
I can rock that.
Yeah.
I'm a dad of 4.
Dad day. Every day is a dad day for me.
I love that. Great. What else is happening?
Yeah. Last thing I thought, you said Mira is 1. Mm-hmm. We talked about running shoes. What's your return to, you keep talking about wanting to run. Mm-hmm. What's your strategy for returning to run to a workout regimen, routine or something?
Yeah. Well, I want to start running again. I think it's just been hard to, like anything, it's just hard to make the time. But I also hate running when it's cold out.
It's not I've cold noticed, out anymore.
No, yeah. So that's why I'm like, I love running in the heat. I love running in the summer.
I hate running in the heat.
And now that Mira's 1, I feel like it's like the perfect time. It's like I got that year of nursing. And,
it is.
And then now I'm going into the summer, right? And so I think I'm excited to run. Also to be able to run like in the morning when it's lighter. When it's lighter in the morning here and it's warmer in the morning here, I'm way more incentivized to wake up in the morning. Have you noticed that like you just wake up at 6 easy right now? It's light and
we
it's warm.
Got these blackout blinds recently, right in time for Mira to leave our room. And now when the blinds are open, I feel like it's 3 a.m. And then all of a sudden I have to realize it's 6 a.m., you know? And so it actually hasn't been the greatest experience for me.
The past like week of it being warm and sunny out, I hear the birds and I'm like, oh wow, it's 6 and I feel energized because it's like warmer and sunnier. It just immediately my body's
the sun
like,
brings
okay,
energy.
I can do this.
What I would love more than anything is our blinds to slowly start opening at 5:30. Just you get the sunrise
Here
effect.
We go again.
Yeah, exactly. How do we bring nature's information curve into the home?
Okay, I went live on Instagram and I was talking about our like room debacle because we've had Mira in our room for an entire year. So we just moved her. Now the girls share a room and the boys share a room. So she's not in our room anymore at night. So when we go to bed now, we don't have to like tiptoe around and be quiet and brush our teeth with the flashlights and like open the drawers really quietly. So we were talking the other day. We're like, wow, our room stayed like really clean lately. And it's because we've been able to actually at night turn on lights and pick up our room. Because usually when we pick up, it's at the end of the day. We're like picking up everything. But we've never had a chance to do that because Mira's in a room. Or likewise, like in the morning, we can't tiptoe out very easily. Like get up in the morning and get ready, go do something. It's harder because she's in the room.
Yeah, I have to like put my clothes in the kids' bathroom and like slip out in the morning and like what's there is there. I'm wearing it.
So it is kind of like a new era for us of like now being able to get up earlier and do things.
I'm telling you,
being able to do things in our room
once
at night.
We start like working out again too consistently and have our own little routines that we infiltrate into our current regimen.
Okay, we were talking about though, you really want to do 75 hard.
Oh, I mean, I want to do 75 hard as a defibrillator to my life. You know what I mean? Like
jumpstart.
Just jumpstart. You know, okay, work out again. This is what it feels like. Okay, this is a hard thing. Great. After 75 hard. First
I was very against. I was very like, I don't know. Okay, not against for you. Sorry. I feel like, but kind of, because it's a commitment to me. If you're going to do it, there's certain pressures that fall on me because it means for 45 minutes twice a day you're working out unless you're getting up
one of
really
them
early to do it or really
I would do my first one in the morning and then I would do my second one. I would take the kids for a walk or something. Like
I know the second one I feel like is the one that was hard, but then I was talking to my chiropractor about it and I was like, because I was kind of thinking like, I don't know if this is a very good thing for women to do. Like I feel like it's like not in the season of life that I'm in. But then she was kind of like reversing my thinking on it a little bit. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's more than just like working out. It's like, because it's, what is it?
It's read 10 pages of a book a day, drink a gallon of water a day, stick to a clean diet, 2 45-minute workouts in a day. You miss any one of those 4 things, it's actually 5 things if you count the 2 workouts, you'd start over.
Yeah, follow a diet. It can be any diet.
Any diet as long as it's a healthy
choose a diet. Keto, paleo, Whole30, calorie tracking, but it must be a structured, healthy eating plan with no cheat meals and no alcohol.
Yep.
That's easy.
I know. It's what we
work out twice a day for 45 minutes.
That's the hardest part.
One of the workouts must be outdoors
because it's time. That's the hardest thing for us because it's time.
And one of them must be outdoors.
I know. And
so
that's
you can't
the
be
second
in our garage.
one would be going for a walk or doing something outside. But
workouts
like I build
3 hours apart.
I build and do so much stuff on the property. I could probably like, hey kids, come outside. We're gonna do this. Can
you count building things on the property as a workout?
If I'm wearing my Apple Watch and invites me to join the workout because it's a workout.
That's what my Oura Ring does. Housework. Yeah. Are you working out? No, just housework. That's all I ever do.
That's what I'm saying.
You walked 12 miles today. Yep. Housework. That's what I'm saying. Drink 1 gallon of water per day. That's a lot of water.
That's 3 of the bottles that I have. I drink about 2.5, and I've been doing that for years.
Okay. Megan was saying she tries to get in her gallon. She says do as much of it in the morning as you can. That's the hack.
That's the hack. Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Oh, you're already so into it.
Yeah.
Read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. Must be a self-improvement or personal development book. Audiobooks do not count.
Yeah.
Take a progress picture every day. So Megan was saying you take your picture in the morning every day so you don't forget.
Yeah.
Before you do your first workout.
So for me, it would be
no substitutions,
wake up,
no excuses. If you skip or fail any rule on any day, you start over from day 1.
Yeah.
They're strict, man.
Yeah. So what you do is you print.
It's extremely demanding.
You print
and
out.
Not for everyone.
You print out a calendar with all the check marks for 75 days. And then you just go through your check marks and then make sure you got everything dialed. You don't forget anything, this and that. You wake up. You know, what I would do is I would make my cup of coffee, put my patch on, do my progress photo, start drinking my water as I go to my first workout, which would be 2 minutes down the road, CrossFit.
Yeah, the hardest part of this is going to be the second workout.
Yeah, slipping in another 45-minute thing.
Imagine you could chug the water before bed, read the book, stay up a little bit later to read your 10 pages, take your picture at night. You know what I mean? Like all that. In the morning workout, it's going to be easier.
The 45-minute second workout.
You're going to be finding time to fit that in every day.
And it has to be outside. Now, you could always
Megan was saying we should do it together. And I'm like, I feel like that would be even harder because then we were both having to find time to do it.
I actually don't think it'd be harder. You know why? It would be easier to bring the kids along because again, kids need to integrate into your life, right? And so to integrate, hey kids,
we should have done it in March.
We're all going for a walk because mom and dad are doing this workout thing. It's
75 days. That's the whole summer.
I know, it's the whole summer.
Wait, yeah.
To be shredded though, I mean, it's so worth it. Small price.
That's a big commitment.
It is.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's a defibrillator.
That's a long defibrillator. That's not like 1 month. 75 days.
To shift. It takes 30 days. It takes 14 days to.
Why do they choose 75? What's the thinking behind psychology wise?
Yeah, because there's habit loops.
Is it 90 days to build a habit?
Well, no, it's that's what I'm saying. It's actually 14 days. There's this structure. I forgot the book. Is it Atomic Habits? Power of Habit? One of those books lays this out of how to physically force the body into new thought patterns, structures, and behaviors. And there's time associated with new neural pathways. And for whatever reason,
75?
I don't think this person did it very intentionally, correlated to any of those, but it does fall within the time, the time constraint to really get a new system developed. Your likelihood of staying in shape after doing something for 75 days or something is 80-90% more likely than if you were to do something for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I think 2 weeks, 14 days is when you can start to shift habits. But
do you think doing something like this is better for you than just starting CrossFit again or doing
I'm
training for running?
This is what I'm saying though. I would start CrossFit again, be great, but it's not a goal. And a lot of times, for example, last time I did CrossFit,
you did the muscle up.
When did I stop CrossFit?
When you did the muscle
up. When I bust out they were thinking it would take me, a year.
How many days did it take you to do it?
I don't know.
Didn't you set 90 days as your
Yeah, I did it in a month or something. Not even. And I didn't even try. I didn't think I could.
You tried.
Well, no, what I mean is I didn't try to do it until I had been doing CrossFit for a little while. Then one day I was like, okay, let's try to learn some form. And we tried it and I was really close and was like, oh wow, this is going to. So then I did it, I think a week or two later.
Can you still do it?
Probably not. My shoulder would not.
How did you do that with your shoulder?
So I didn't have shoulder issues.
No, you've had shoulder issues.
No, this was before the wakeboarding accident.
No.
Yes, it was. I promise you I did not do it after the wakeboarding accident. I wouldn't have been able to. All right, we should wrap it. Thanks for joining us, you guys. This is a great, fun conversation. You know what? I just thought of this. if you share this episode and tag Jeremy Roloff and Audrey Roloff in the 24-hour span from when this episode gets released, it helps the show. We really appreciate it. Helps us get bigger and better guests on. We're going to give away 3 Connect card bundles. So Connect card bundles, the legacy deck, the couples deck, the family deck. 3 of those. So 3 of you will win that all bundle. 3. Yeah, all 3 of them. 3 of you will win all 3 of them. But you have to tag both of us so we can see, okay, they tagged both of us, their story is still live, and they shared the episode. Just an incentive. You could share it, with or without tagging us. But if you tag us, we'll run our little process and pick 3 of you to win. So Thank you.
As always, thanks for listening.
Cheers.